What if hot pot wasn't soup, but bubbling cheese? We attempt to make the most angmoh steamboat ever. Will our usual hot pot ingredients survive the cheesiness? First of all, dipping food into melted cheese isn't new. People have been doing it for hundreds of years. They even gave it a name, fondue. And there are plenty of recipes for the perfect cheese pot out there. But honestly, most of them boil down to Step 1, find the pot. Step 2, throw cheese in. How hard could it be? I've had to restart again because 那个 cheese 超大 It burned a lot quicker than I thought it would. So 我的 heat 要放小一点。我现在放到the first setting, and then we'll see if it's possible. Oh, so 吵到。Okay, so we've been failing all this time. Then 我 realized 到为什么了，就是 because the pot that we use apparently 是很太 thin 了 so the heat transference is not uniform. So 我们找到这个新的 ceramic pot， 然后趁wife 在睡觉的时候偷偷拿出来用。Go！ Please 不要超大，你闻到超大 smell 你跟人讲。哦，它粘住了。Success！ 好，泽，你看 ，Yeah！ Who have thought that melting cheese is so difficult? Okay.
It's like it's just soft.
Yeah, and 我们找到了 the perfect 的那个 temperature setting. Right. So I guess the next step 就是混大锅的。As you can tell, I managed to get up a third time. I got too greedy and raised the temperature higher so that the cheese could melt faster. But this made the cheese separate into clumps and made it a soggy, lumpy mess. But thankfully by this time, the smell of burnt cheese had woken wifey up, so she took over from here. Okay, we've cooked everything in. Now we're going to try what it tastes like.
这那个 cheese 有点苦
It's not very salty.
It's not very salty.
It's a lot less salty, I think, because of the cheese that we use. So, we use Gruyere and we use Emmental. Oh, I found the beef. Let's eat the beef first. Not bad. It's a bit cheesy. Not too much. It's like if you put a lot of salt on the beef. Oh, but it's very buttery as well. So if you put a lot of butter and you put a lot of salt. Napa cabbage. Or 大白菜.
Very juicy.
Very juicy still. Yeah, but I think the cheese taste overpower everything. Let's see.
Can still taste the crab.
Okay, still, I think among all of the stuff that we threw in, right?
Fits the best with the cheese.
Yeah, it fits the best with the cheese because it's sweet to begin with. So it's quite harmonious. Okay, this tastes a bit like, you know, pizza, the vegetarian pizza. Sometimes they put spinach or rocket on it.
No, it tastes like that because when I was grabbing the spinach, I grabbed everything on cheese.
Tastes like pizza-y.
Honestly, cheese. There's like no spinach.
This is Tang O. Okay, so Tang O, right? I don't think Zhe will eat. So Tang O still has the Tang O taste, but the cheesiness I think overpower it. 这个 right, it took so long to cook, and then I had to up the heat. Then 你可以看到 because I up the heat, right? Then it curdled so much. I think it's overcooked already, the fondue. But right, I managed to cook the prawn. This is what it looks like. 有点像那个 salted egg 的 prawn. Prawn. It tastes a bit like, you know, the salted egg, the prawn. So it's kind of like that, 有点 salted. 那个 cheese 的味道 right, I don't think it managed to get through 那个虾壳, so it didn't soak it up. Maybe if 你蒸久一点 in the cheese it might work. I don't know. But something to know, right? Because 这个cheese hot pot itself, it's not hot enough to cook the 虾 thoroughly. So what we've had to do, right? Because I have to raise the temperature, and then right, 这样it just mess up the cheese. 你看全部就是壳的 it comes like very lumpy. Okay, while it doesn't affect the taste or 你吃了I think it should still be fine. There's this very nice roasted the cheese clumps at the bottom, which according to research, right, tastes quite nice. So I don't know if 可是你要 sacrifice 你 try 一下。Okay, so apparently it's quite nice. They call it like the naan or something. So I'll just put a description somewhere here on this video. Yeah, but then I think you should, if you really want to cook seafood or things that take 很久的熟 right, you should really go in towards the end. Like closing thoughts. So if you're wondering 为什么 YC 没有 join 我们 right, 因为他觉得太恶心了。So 这是我跟哲哲 try. Do you think it works?
It's not worth. 你这样晒60块了。
Yeah, okay. So right, the cheese actually is quite expensive 因为你要 fill up 一个这样大的 pot. And to be honest, right, 那个 cheese 的 taste will overpower everything. So 我们放 cheese ball 进去时 what did it end up tasting like?
这是就是cheese right?
Yeah, 我们放 crab stick 进去even though 那个 crab stick is quite sweet, flavor quite strong.
那个其实好吃。
那个好吃 because maybe because 它的 flavor quite strong. 有点甜甜，有点咸咸的。
全部东西就是 taste like cheese.
Yeah, it just overpowers everything. So you don't need to buy very luxurious and premium 的，你不用买 Wagyu beef 的 because it's gonna end up tasting like cheese. So maybe just 买那种 El Cheapo 的beef, like beef cube or
比较not so premium cuts of shabu shabu, then just stewing shit if you want to try something like that. Okay, that's it, right? Would I try this again? Maybe not. I think try 了一次就够了. So if you are hosting a party, right? Maybe 你吃 cheese and wine, something like that. You want to try something different, right? If you do this, right, I guarantee you will impress your guests. They will be a bit confused, but they will definitely be impressed. So maybe worth trying for that shock factor. Yeah, but try 了一次就可以了. That's it.